Radhe Radhe everybody. How is everybody doing? Hope you're all fine. Hope you're all reading the Bhagavad Gita. And today I thought I will just get caught up on my scripture writing session right here while I do like a small flip of what has been until now. Okay, so we started this scripture writing process in February. So my process has been to draw a calendar and then go back to each day when I finish the writing the verse, go back and say I have done that, just cross off the date and one verse each day. And because this is not the only place I write the verse, I write the verse in many different places. In my journal, in my planners. I have a planner where I plan my work and stuff. That, and if I'm just bored and I'm studying, if I'm bored, just bored, plain bored, there's a notebook where I just start writing and pouring out my thoughts while I just read and write the verse. Nothing fancy, no Sanskrit words, nothing. For example, just this verse. Nor do I perceive, O Krishna, any good in slaughtering my own people in battle. I desire neither victory nor empire nor even any pleasure. If I just see this and write this, what are the thoughts that flow out of that verse? That's kind of writing. That happens in another notebook. So there's then the formal study where I do take a commentary and just do a complete deep dive. That happens in a notebook. That being said, I do write this scripture everywhere, and that's why I might have to come and get caught up on this every now and then. 2 or 3 days I don't update this, but I always come back and just make sure I write the verse for the day. Either one verse for the day, or if I'm getting caught up, I just write 2 or 3 verses until I get to the current date. That's how my process has been. So this is May, where I start the 3rd chapter. And on my way, like on this journey, I stick stickers. I write the titles with my markers and everything. I have fun with it. And this is June. This is our friend Bobby, who wants to be part of this video. This is June. June happened to be good, I should say. I had 3 verses per page. I usually do only 2. And then July was the beginning of the 4th chapter. I completed the 3rd and I started the 4th chapter. I think I should be doing 3 verses per page. And that seems more aesthetically pleasing, rather than having a lot of empty spaces. So June, July is where I seem to have completed it. Oh, I haven't written the verses for August. I usually write the verse numbers there when I get caught up. I haven't done that. This is August. And in August, I also started the 5th chapter, it looks like, and then I kept continuing. And then comes September, where I finished the 5th chapter and moved on to the 6th within the month. In September, again, I've come back to 2 verses per page for some reason. Let's see, begin the 6th chapter on the 20th of September. And this is my current month, and yesterday was 6/12 and today is 6/13. So somebody had commented saying that they wanted to see Bhagavad Gita journaling, which I do want to do. I'm constantly apologizing for not being around in this channel, like not posting much content. I do apologize. It's just one thing after the other, but study that keeps going on. So the 13th verse is, he should sit firm. This is about the way of meditation. He should sit firm. Bhagwan is saying, holding his body. How does a yogi meditate? Holding his body, neck and head erect and still, and gaze steadily at the tip of his nose, without looking around. That's the 13th verse. Let's go back and just make a tick mark here that we are done for today. So I've been enjoying this process. The book is getting like fat. That's some sort of a satisfying experience, if you know what I mean. While I write, I try to be like doing that in early in the morning or late at night, where I get some privacy, because this writing is a form of concentrating and meditating. So I try to do that as much quietly as possible. That's why it just became a hassle to come and show you the progress or even write in front of camera. So it became hard for me to do that, because I had to talk while I wrote. So that's this. And I also wanted to start one for Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, people would ask me, then they do always ask, why do you have to do concurrent stuff? If you do so much stuff, the devotional thing, all the, things at a stretch, wouldn't it dissolve or dilute your focus? Yes, it will dissolve and dilute my focus. However, there is a distinct advantage that you can find certain connections or also certain conclusions. For example, when you go into way of meditation, which is the 6th chapter, you begin the chapter. So in 5th chapter, he concludes saying, and having known me, who I am dispenser of all sacrifices and austerities, the great Lord of all worlds, the friend of all beings, he attains peace. Bhagavan says, I am the friend of all beings. One who knows that is usually peaceful. And then he moves on to, the Lord said, he who does the work he ought to do and does not seek its fruit, he is a sannyasi and he is a yogi. Not he who does no work and maintains no sacred fire. So slowly he just goes into the subject of meditation, because his conversation has come to the subject of yogis and how they meditate. Now there's this question that comes up, and he's talking about sitting on a kusa grass, sitting on a seat that's not too high, not too low, gazing at the tip of his nose. Why is he saying all this when Arjuna is like engaged in fight, and there's something in front of him that needs to be done, but still Bhagwan is saying all these things? Isn't the point of Gita urging Arjuna to do his duty as a warrior, which is to fight? Yes, that's where the question begins. And when I do concurrent study of Bhagavatam, I'm able to understand the point that all this is available for us to do, and the cultural and period within cultural context and the period within which this was shared had their lives conducive around yoga practice, where one could sit and do meditation in the way that's prescribed by Bhagwan here. But as we have come to Kali Yuga, and our lives are centered around our survival, and we're constantly running here and there, even physically, leave alone the mental thing. Mind runs everywhere. Physically, we are not in one place, we are constantly doing something or the other. What is the way then? Is it possible for us to sit on kusa grass, as said in Bhagavad Gita? And later he would come to the point that, those things may not be possible for everybody. And for Arjuna, at this point, his thing was to just sarvadharman parityajya. He had to leave everything and surrender his actions to Bhagwan and do his duty right in front of him. That's what this will arrive at anyway. But reading Bhagavatam concurrently and making notes out of it also gives you one beautiful thing of bhakti and japa and Nama Sankirtan, thinking of God, talking about Bhagwan, and just doing japa, which is repetition of his names, is the way in Kali Yuga, because it's not conducive for all this. It is the way. So doing that concurrent study just connects the dots, so to speak, and there are so many other connections that you arrive at. So I don't feel like our focus is lost when we do concurrent studies. I feel it only enhances one's ability to understand each of the scripture. So I do intend to start something. Actually, I have started, but not in a formal way. I'm looking for that notebook to show you that I did start something with Srimad Bhagavatam, each sloka every day with its meaning being written on paper. It's just beautiful when one is able to study that way. I'm able to retain much more than just reading. Yes, reading is good, because if you're not reading and writing, at least reading is good, but reading and writing is always very good, and it doesn't take much time. So I hope you enjoyed this flip through of this scripture writing journal that I have, and rambling that I did until now. I hope you're all reading the Gita, enjoying the study, and you're all doing well. And wherever you are, you're having a great autumn and great whatever season you are in. I'll meet you soon with another video. Until then, Radhe Radhe.